Hey Bear Cubs. Okay, so this week we are going to start an author study and we're going to do it on Froggy books. I am so excited. These are pretty awesome books and the author is named Jonathan London. So the first book that we're going to read is called Froggy Eats Out, and we're going to work on some story elements to go with this book. And you're going to find in your packet a sheet that says beginning, middle, and end, and that's what we're going to work on today with this book. So when you do beginning, middle, and end, the beginning, you're looking for who the characters are and what is the setting, where is the story taking place. The middle is what is the problem and what happens to the characters. So all stories have a problem or something happens to the character. And then the ending is what was the solution to the problem, how was it fixed. So think about that. Keep that in your mind as I read this story so we can talk about what happens in the beginning, middle, and end. And then later today, you will fill out your sheet and write down what happened in the beginning, what happened in the middle, and what happened in the end of the story. So Froggy Eats Out by Jonathan London. It was almost dinner time and Froggy was hungry. He sat in the kitchen and dreamed about burgers and flies. Frogs love flies. Then he hopped up and looked for something to eat. He looked in the cabinet, slam. He looked in the fridge, slam. He looked in the oven, bang. Mom, yelled Froggy, there's nothing good to eat. Froggy, called his mother. What? Did you forget something? It's our anniversary. We're going out to eat. Hooray, sang Froggy, let's go. First, you have to get dressed up, dear. We're going to a fancy restaurant. So Froggy flopped to his bedroom. Flop, flop, flop. He zipped off his shirt, unzipped his pants, took off his shoes, pulled off his socks, and even changed his underwear with a zap of elastic. Then he tugged on his best pants, zip, buttoned up his best shirt, zup, 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 put on his best socks, zoop, pulled on his best shoes, zup, and tied them up, zwit, zwit. Then he put on his best bow tie, snap, and flopped out to show his mom and dad. Flop, flop, flop. This book has been well loved. You look very handsome, dear, said his mother, but you forgot to wash. Oops, said Froggy. So he went to the bathroom and washed his hands and face. Splash, splash, splash. He used lots and lots of water, but only a little bit of soap. Then he dried off with a towel, zwoop, and looked at himself in the mirror. He thought he was kind of cute. Froggy, called his father. What? Time to go, said his dad. We'll be late. And off they flopped to the restaurant. Flop, flop, flop. Okay, so the beginning of the story, who are the characters? The characters are Froggy, Froggy, Mom, and Dad. And what is the setting? The setting is at home. So, the beginning of the story, Froggy, Mom, and Dad are at home getting ready to go out for dinner, right? So let's figure out now what happens in the middle of the story. At the restaurant, Froggy's eyes grew big and round. There were glowing candles, flowers in vases, and tablecloths as white as snow. This is a fancy restaurant, said Froggy. Yes, said his mother, so remember, be neat, be quiet, and don't put your feet on the table. When they were seated, Froggy said, I'm hungry. Let's eat. First we have to order, dear, said his mother. I want a hamburger, said Froggy. "No hamburgers here," said his father. When the waiter handed him a menu, Froggy opened it and knocked over a glass of water. Crash. "Oops," cried Froggy. "Oh, Froggy," said his mother, "remember what I told you?" "I know," said Froggy. "Be neat, be quiet, and don't put your feet on the table." Poor guy's making such a big mess. But it was hard to be neat and quiet. He fidgeted. He shook salt on his hand and licked it. He banged his spoon on the table. Bang, bang, bang. Then he hit hard on the tip of the spoon and flipped it right into the waiter's head. Bonk. After the waiter finally came and took their orders, they waited and waited and waited. How many of you have been to a fancy restaurant and had to wait a long time? Froggy pulled petals off the flowers. He blew on the candle and sucked on sugar cubes and ice cubes. Then he hopped up and flopped around the restaurant, flop, 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 singing, "Be neat, be quiet, and don't put your feet on the table." "Froggy," called his father. "What?" "Please sit down now." Is he making good choices? Nope. Froggy sat down. Finally, dinner was served. Froggy stuck his fork into a huge plate of spaghetti and sucked some up. Slurp! It was fun, so he slurped up some more. Slurp, slurp, slurp! And that's when he saw Froggalina. She was sitting with her parents. "Hi, Froggy," called Froggalina. "Who's that pretty girl?" asked his mother. Froggy was so embarrassed he ducked beneath the tablecloth and pulled and pulled and pulled till the spaghetti and fly sauce landed smack on his head. Splat. So, do we have a problem in the story? What's the problem? What happens to the character? Well, the problem is Froggy makes a big mess at the fancy restaurant. Right? So now we need to look for the ending of the story. What is the solution? So think about that as I keep reading. "Oops," cried Froggy, looking more red in the face than green. "Happy anniversary," he croaked. "What a mess," cried his father. "Oh, Froggy," said his mother. Froggy scooped spaghetti off his face and said, "I know. Let's eat out at a Fast Fly's place." "Good idea," said his mother. So, did you hear what the solution was? Think about it as I finish reading. "Let's go," said his father, and together they leapfrogged all the way there. Flop, flop, flop. Where they all ate burgers and fries. Munch, crunch, munch. So what was the solution in the story? What's the ending? Now, the ending is they left the fancy restaurant to eat at a fast food place. So, when you guys go later to read a book, or if mom and dad read a book to you before you go to bed tonight, I want you to apply this to that book also and think about what's the beginning of the story, who are the characters, what is the setting, where is the story taking place, and what is the problem, what happens to the character. So in this story, Froggy makes a big mess at the fancy restaurant, but at your other story, what is the problem? And then what happens at the end of the story? What was the solution? And I just realized I didn't write. What is the setting? And it's at home. And that they're getting ready to go out to eat. All right, Bear Cubs, I hope you have a great time on your work today, and I look forward to reading the next Froggy book to you guys. All right, love you guys. Bye.